Hey everyone, we have yet another book called The Bug Collector. Let's see what The Bug Collector is going to be about. Today was George's favorite day of the whole week. It was Sunday, and that meant he was going on an adventure with his granddad. The particular Sunday, Granddad took George to the Museum of Wildlife. Inside, they saw ferocious dinosaurs, wondrous whales, massive mammoths, and even stranger creatures of every color and shape. But Granddad didn't stop to look at any of it. He was too excited about something completely different. The creatures he wanted to show George were much smaller, stranger, and Granddad loved them. On the journey home, George couldn't think of anything else but the marvelous bugs he had seen that day. That night, George's dreams were filled with buzzing bees, floating butterflies, and sliding snails. He packed up his book bag and headed out to see what he could find. In the garden, he noticed bugs were everywhere. Something fluttered past George's face. He tried to catch it, but it was too quick for him. Catching bugs was not as easy as George had thought. They were so clever, they had always seemed to know what he was going to do. George had to learn to be even more clever to outwit it. Soon, he was a master bug catcher. With his backpack and cart loaded up, George set off for the treehouse. After he found a place for every bottle and jar, George admired his collection. Examining them closely, he saw so many different shapes and colors. As George went home for dinner, everything seemed silent and still. Nothing buzzed, fluttered, or scuttered. The next day, he went back to the garden to continue to hunt. But everywhere was dull and sad. Granddad also wondered what was going on. He knew something wasn't right. Suddenly, Granddad realized all the bugs were gone. Back at the treehouse, George looked at his collection. The bugs didn't look so happy. Granddad wasn't happy either when he saw what George had been doing. He loved bugs so much, but the living ones should be kept in jars and bottles. Granddad explained to George that the important jobs bugs have in the world, especially in our gardens. Bees help to make lots of new flowers by carrying pollen from one to another. Ladybugs also help plants by eating up 500 little bugs a day. Ants are natural farmers, carrying seeds and planting them in new places. Dung beetles turn waste into food, and of course, all insects are an important part of the natural food chain. If we take them away, lots of animals won't get their dinner. George listened carefully. He knew what he had to do. He opened the jars, the bottles, and the windows and the doors, and the bugs flew out. The sky was alive again. George was kind of sad to see them go, but Granddad was smiling. He had an idea. It took a little while together, but they changed the garden into a bug sanctuary for everyone to see. Granddad and George agreed that watching bugs in their natural habitat was the very best thing for the world. And that was The Bug Collector.